Welcome to Frequencies of Well-Being, the Philip Stein video podcast, a space for exploring ideas about natural frequency technology, mindfulness, and embracing your best self.
Hello and welcome everybody to another podcast of Frequencies of Well-Being. Today we are joined by a very interesting gentleman. His name is Michael Phelps. Believe it or not, yes, it is Michael Phelps, but it is not the Michael Phelps who is the Olympic medalist in swimming, but we have a very interesting Michael Phelps here on our podcast today. You will hear from him all the things that he has done, and then we will talk about Philip Stein and how he came across Philip Stein and what benefits he has reaped from wearing Philip Stein. So, hello, Michael. How are you?
Good afternoon, Will. Good to be with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Michael, where are you located?
I live in Kansas City, Missouri.
Kansas City. And how is the situation there right now with the coronavirus?
It's pretty much kind of like the rest of the country.
Has it increased over there?
Yes.
As well?
We've had some increase here in the city as well.
Okay.
Both
the
on the
restrictions
Kansas and Missouri side.
And the restrictions have increased again or not?
The city just declared that everybody has to wear face masks out in public now, starting this week.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah.
I guess that's something which we all have to live with for a while, and who knows?
I believe so.
Maybe even forever. Maybe not the face mask forever, but
Right.
We will definitely live a different life from now on, I think.
I think so.
So, Michael, tell our viewers a little bit about yourself. What do you do right now, and what is your profession? You told me that you're a musician. Give our viewers a quick overview.
I have kind of an interesting profession. I am a prayer minister, and I work for the Unity Church, which is headquartered here in Kansas City.
Okay.
And they have been around since the late 1880s, 90s. And one of the things that they started from their founder, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore, was a prayer center, which started back in 1890, where people could mail in their letters to Unity Village, just outside of Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
And people would get these letters, read them, and find out what their prayer request would be. And then they would send a letter of prayer back to the individuals. And at that point, they had 30 days in which they had to see how the prayers, if the prayers were fulfilled or if the prayers were answered, and then they would write back to the Unity Village with their, I guess, praise report, I guess you would call it.
Wow.
And let them know if their prayer request had been answered or not.
Wow.
And to see if they took some personal responsibility in making the prayer request happen.
And you know why it's so interesting? Because prayers have to do with frequencies as well.
That's
just like our product. But
That's
I guess
right.
Today it's not anymore through letters. Today you have the prayer center where you work, and
Yes.
many people who answer the calls
Yes.
and pray with the people individually on the line.
Yes, and there's probably about 100 plus that work the prayer lines that go on 24/7.
Wow.
365 days a week. And then what we also have.
Tell our listeners how many calls you get every day from around the world, not only the US, right?
We average about 4,500 calls a day.
That's incredible.
And then
did the calls increase after the coronavirus hit?
There were some, yes. A lot of people just really upset and kind of frantic with of the uncertainty of what's going on today.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And then you told me also that you're a musician.
Yes, I'm also a church organist and musician, which I've been started when I was 5 and have continued and through college. And then I'm a principal organist here in Kansas City at Unity Temple on the Plaza.
So you've been all your life, you've been around positive frequencies, whether it's praying, whether it's music and, church and all of these things.
Right.
And
And then I just discovered through my prayer work that I also have an incredible art gift as well.
really? So what kind of art do you do?
I do ink and pencil drawings.
And what kind of ink and pencil drawings?
I got interested in the mandala form.
Okay.
Which mandala is it's kind of a picture, your depiction of the universe.
Wow.
Kind of through the Buddhist thinking and everything. Within a mandala, everything has to be balanced. And
well,
so
after the call, you have to send me some of your artwork, because my son is an artist.
Oh.
And well, he's 19 years old, but he studies acting. He's an actor and an artist. So he draws and acts both. So yeah,
Yes.
you have to send me something. That'll be very interesting. So
It
tell
is.
us a little bit about how you came across Philip Stein. When did you come across Philip Stein?
I think it was about 10 or 12 years ago when Steve, my husband, and I were on a cruise in the Caribbean.
Mm-hmm.
I can't exactly remember which port we were in at the time, but that's when we discovered Philip Stein.
Okay. And what interested you in Philip Stein? Were you interested first in the design, or did you hear right away about the benefits?
I think what it was with Steve was Oprah's endorsement at the time.
Okay.
About Philip Stein and the frequency technology.
Okay. Okay.
And so that's kind of when we got interested in the Philip Stein and what it can do for an individual.
So first you bought the watch then, or?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we ended up buying two Philip Steins. He got one, and then I claimed the other one for myself.
Okay.
And it was just amazing. On just a week after it, just the change physically in your body with what they can do.
Tell me, what was it that you felt when you put the Philip Stein watch on?
At first, you kind of get kind of a tingling sensation in your arm, because I always wear it on my right or left wrist.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just start to feel something in that arm, and then you can kind of feel it kind of spread after a while.
Okay. And you've been wearing Philip Stein ever since?
Pretty much, yes. Yes.
So do you have still one Philip Stein, or how many do you have?
I have to admit I have 7 Philip Steins.
7 Philip Stein watches?
Yes, including 2 diamond.
Oh my God. Wow, so, you spoiled yourself.
Yes.
Beautiful.
And a sleep band.
So you have the sleep bracelet as well?
Yes, which is diamond.
And the sleep bracelet, you wear that, the sleep bracelet, you wear it every night?
Yes.
Okay. And so what have you felt with the sleep bracelet? What difference did it make for you in your sleep pattern?
It just feels like I'm in a deeper state of sleep.
Okay.
I'm deeper sleep. It seems like I go to bed, I fall asleep, and the next thing it's morning.
Well, that's a wonderful thing, right?
Yeah.
Because especially in today's world, that's when people have problems, and I'm sure you can hear that on the phone calls as well, that people have anxieties, they're afraid of the uncertainty, they don't know, they don't sleep well, etc. So I'm sure that helps a lot.
Yes.
So what do you like about the design of the watches?
They're just a classic looking watch. Okay. They never really go out of style.
Okay.
Even looking online at some of the older styles, they still have a classic look.
You know that we have the interchangeable bands. Do you ever interchange your bands or not?
Oh, I have a pile of those too. I have quite a few bands as well.
Really?
Yes.
But that's the beauty about this also. You can switch the bands according to what you're wearing. You can match your wardrobe with the bands.
Yes. Yeah.
But coming back to the frequency technology, were you at all, before Philip Stein, were you at all interested in let's say frequencies, meditation,
Yes,
mindfulness,
yes,
prayer, etc., etc.?
yes, yes. Kind of one thing I've really been interested in also is um, the studies of the brain,
Oh, okay.
and your like your Frankenstein brain and the Einstein brain,
Okay.
your chatty monkey, and really how people think and how it works.
Okay. And obviously,
The neuroscience of that is of what's happening today on why people are doing what they're doing.
absolutely, because at the end of the day, everything is frequencies, you know.
Yes, yes.
Everything around us is frequencies,
Hmm.
and our bodies are frequencies. We are frequency
Yes,
beings, you know.
yes.
And
We're electrical pulses and neural
exactly.
paths, and
Exactly right.
and our
And that's why our product works, because if it would just be matter and not energy, not frequencies, our product couldn't
Mhm.
work, because
No,
energy works with energy. So
right,
that's why our product works
right,
with our body's own
right,
biomagnetic field, you know.
right. It worked with our field to kind of calm the nerves.
Exactly. Exactly right. Yes. And when you did you get interested in this subject about neuroscience, etc., while working for the Unity Church, or was
No,
that
that it's
something you were
been
interested in before?
before, yes, yes, and I think that's why the New Thought movement really intrigued me more after kind of getting interested in the neuroscience.
So tell our viewers who don't know about the Unity Church a little bit more about the New Thought movement.
Well, the New Thought movement pretty much deals with what you think you can produce. That's where the self-help movement pretty much came out of the New Thought movement.
Okay.
There's the Unity Church. A lot of people are probably familiar with Michael Beckwith
Mm-hmm.
from the Agape in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
That's part of the New Thought movement.
Mm-hmm.
And so, kind of one of the people say everything is created twice, once in thought and then in the physical as
Oh,
well.
that's I like that. Everything is created twice, once
Everything is
in
created twice,
thought and then in the physical.
and then
So
in the physical.
basically our thought create things, correct?
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, everything is created in thought first.
Exactly.
The glasses you're wearing were a thought in somebody's mind.
That's right. That's
The
right.
painting to your left was a creation out of somebody's thought.
100%.
Yes,
So that's what the thought movement is about.
that's
That
part
you
of it. That's
basically,
part of it.
could it be summed up like that we are creating our own destiny?
We are, yes, yes. Our thoughts create our world.
Okay.
Everybody's thoughts that we create creates our own world, our perception.
Okay.
Everybody's perception is different.
Is that something when you pray with the people in who call in? Is that something which you explain to them as well? And does that uplift them, or what is it?
That's part of it. We pray in the affirmative
What
when
does
we
that
pray
mean?
with people. That it's already happened.
Okay.
I guess kind of a typical prayer would be God's healing love enfolds you now. This powerful energy moves through your body, removing any pain or illness, that your body is restored to its full vitality. And so that's different than please pray that please God help them restore their health.
Absolutely.
Because if the mind has something to focus on in the positive, it's more likely to create that versus
Exactly.
versus living in I don't deserve this. I don't have the resources to do this.
Yeah, yeah. It's very interesting now during the coronavirus, and in order to also stay not only healthy but well balanced and focused and all of this. My wife and I, we got very interested in Dr. Joe Dispenza. If you ever have time, you can look him up.
Yeah.
He is a neuroscientist and he healed himself.
Yes.
So he is basically, I'm sure, part of that New Thought movement. In fact, I believe he also gave
I think he is. I think he's connected
in the
somehow.
Unity Church. Yeah.
Yeah, but Myrtle Fillmore, one of the founders, also cured herself of tuberculosis.
Wow.
That's kind of how it all started.
Wow.
And I mean, they went and heard somebody in the New Thought and said, "You are a child of God.
Okay.
You do not inherit illness." And so that really stuck with her when she got her diagnosis of tuberculosis.
Mm-hmm.
And so it took her 2 years, but she would really meditate on each part of her body and praise it for what it does.
Wow.
And praised her heart, her lungs, her tissues, her everything, her eyes.
And how old was she when she got
reversed.
diagnosed?
She was younger when she got diagnosed.
Okay.
But she lived to be 80 something.
Wow. And completely free of any disease or no tuberculosis or anything.
Right.
Wow.
Right. And we hear those stories today where they can't figure out why the individual was healed.
So, it's very interesting because this is, I mean, I'm not saying that Philip Stein heals anything, but all of this is part of a healthy lifestyle, in my opinion.
Yes.
The Philip Stein watches, they are a part of a lifestyle which you engage when you want to live a healthy lifestyle. Meditation, prayer, being mindful, all of these kind of things, that all has to do with positive frequencies
That's
of
right.
well-being.
Right. If we can keep our personal frequencies up, that is very beneficial to each individual.
Absolutely. So what do you do now in terms of, because obviously everybody has been locked down, now they're slowly reopening, but I'd be interested, and I'm sure our listeners would be interested in, what do you do on a regular basis to keep your frequencies up, positive, elevated, etc.?
Well, I kind of do a morning meditation ritual, kind of mindfulness. It's kind of more with the HoloSync technology as well, which I'm sure you're familiar with. With that, I love being outside. I'm a big gardener as well, and so
what do you garden? Flowers or
flowers?
Flowers.
I have probably 3 sides of flowers on our house.
Wow.
Quite a few beds to take care of.
Wow.
And so just being outside, connecting, I'm usually out barefoot. And so, there's the frequency of the earth as well. And so it's kind of absorb that frequency, being outside. And then when I am working, I try and keep myself at kind of in a prayer consciousness, which is usually try and keep my thoughts up at a higher frequency.
How many prayers do you do per day with the people?
I take anywhere from 80 to 100 calls.
So you do 80 to 100 prayers a day?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes,
now then that elevates your frequency,
right.
Immediately.
And that's where my drawing came out of, because I would just kind of sit there and work on some projects while I was kind of in between the calls. Right. And then I discovered a greater art talent that I had, which that just raised.
Just by sitting down and
Yes,
playing
yes,
around with
yes,
things?
pretty much, yes.
Wow.
And everything that I do was pretty much self-taught.
That's amazing.
And so ideas would come to me pretty much in my sleep of the pictures to draw.
That's
And so
amazing.
and so the drawing is kind of like, for me, a form of meditation. And so your thoughts go to a higher frequency when you're in the state of mind. And so when you're in that state of mind, you are in the now. There's nothing else existing in the mind. You're just in, I guess, the zone would be the best way to describe it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Nothing else exists.
Yeah.
My bills aren't worrying. I'm not worrying about the bills or stuff like that, or where I need to go on the way home, or who I need to call.
Right, right.
That doesn't exist in the moment.
Exactly.
You're in the now, and now is all there is.
Wow. Wow. So how many pictures or paintings have you done so far?
In the past 6 years, I probably have done probably about 50 plus.
Amazing.
I just did a show over Christmas in December where it was pretty much all the artwork that I had produced, and it filled up a whole gallery.
And it's all black and white, or is it color?
There's it's all ink and pencil and colored pencil.
Wow.
But probably pretty much for the most part it's black and white.
Wow. Amazing. And what I notice, and when I talk to people now that they spend more time at home, because they don't go out, there's no restaurant to go to, there's of course the distraction of Netflix and social media, etc. But I think it's also time for people, on the one hand, to reflect on life, to connect with family, but also to learn new things.
Yes.
So I see more and more people. For example, I mentioned it to you before. One of my big dreams was always to play piano, but I never had the time. And so I bought a keyboard and I started to play around with it. And I have a little online software to teach myself. But I love it. I absolutely love it when I'm able to play one song. It's an accomplishment. And again, we're talking frequencies. That elevates your frequency. That creates this happiness within you, because happiness is within you. It doesn't necessarily have to do with the outside environment.
Right. Happiness is a choice.
Exactly.
All of our feelings are a choice.
Absolutely.
They just don't automatically pop up, and there's a feeling. We decide if we want to be happy, have joy, have love in our lives. It doesn't come to us, it comes from us.
I completely agree. Wow, wonderful. You're doing an amazing work. And I think, with the work that you're doing, you help so many people around the world who are in, bad situations, or who need help, or who just need to have support,
Right.
I think that's wonderful.
Right. So some of the more recent calls I've had were from some of the frontline workers in New York.
Okay.
Those were a little harder to deal with.
I can imagine. So, I mean, those are our heroes.
Right.
But by the way, when you tell them that your name is Michael Phelps, or let's say when you go to a hotel and and they ask you, okay, put in your name, and you write Michael Phelps, did anybody ever say, are you joking?
All the time.
Really?
Usually my comeback to them is I had the name first.
You had the name first? That's true.
And I will say I do have a connection to the Michael Phelps as well.
Okay.
A very good friend of mine, Veronica Malone, is a retired Olympic swimming coach.
Wow.
Here in Kansas City.
Okay.
And so she personally does know Michael.
Wow. But you never tried to compete with Michael in the pool?
No. He would probably win.
Okay. Michael, I always like to keep this podcast also conversational. If you have any questions regarding the technology or any questions you want to ask, feel free.
I did read the study that just came out, which
Okay.
does give credit to Philip Stein and the technology on how it does work.
Mm-hmm. And that's, by the way, that's something which was very important for us to get scientific validation.
Yes.
Because we have many testimonials, we have many people like you who have written us and told us about the benefits of the technology and how they feel with it and all of this. But then when we reached out to the scientific world, they always said, "Oh no, those are testimonials. This is anecdotal." In order to be really a validated product, you need to have scientific validation, and that's why we went out there. And now we have two scientific studies published, and that's a big accomplishment for Philip Stein. I'm very happy of that. Very proud.
I guess my one question I have is in regard to the sleep watches.
Sleep bracelet.
The sleep bracelet.
Yeah.
Because we've taken them thinking we needed to get the batteries changed.
No, there is no battery in there. And
okay.
I tell you why. Obviously, in the watch is a battery in order for the watch movement to run. But for our technology, we do not need any battery. I tell you why. You're a musician, right? I give you an analogy of music, how our technology works. When you have a tuning fork, and you have a second tuning fork, okay? So one tuning fork, I tap on the table, it makes a certain it gives a certain frequency and a vibration. And when I hold this tuning fork now next to the other, this tuning fork will basically transmit the vibration to this tuning fork, and they will now harmonize, correct?
Harmonize with each other, yes.
Exactly.
Okay.
That's exactly the case with our technology. In the case of our technology, our body, because like you mentioned already before, our body has electrical impulses, electromagnetic frequencies, from the heart, from the brain, etc. So we are basically the tuning fork which has been tapped because we have the pulse already. Our disc inside our product is a passive resonance device. Okay. So now it basically the impulse goes to the disc, and now the disc, which is basically calibrated with frequencies for sleep, energy, or being more relaxed, now they start to co-resonate, and now this harmonizes the field of the human being.
Okay.
That's basically in a nutshell how our technology works.
Okay.
Yeah. If you don't have any other questions, then I would like to wrap it up. And we always wrap it up with what we call 5 vibes in 5 seconds. Okay. So I'm going to give you 5 words, and I'm sure you're going to have some very interesting answers to these 5 words. What comes to your mind when you hear these 5 words? Okay. So the first word is love.
The highest frequency.
Okay. Passion.
Love.
Mindfulness.
Stillness.
Courage.
Frontline.
And finally, happiness.
You can never have enough happy.
And with that, I think we're ending on a very high frequency. Thank you so much, Michael, for sharing your experience with Philip Stein, for sharing this incredible work that you're doing. And don't forget to send me one of your images.
I will send you some.
You drew. I would like to see. I want to share it with my son and my wife. Okay.
I will.
It's been a real pleasure talking to you, Michael. Thank you so much.
It's been a very pleasurable for me as well.
Thank you.
I look forward to it again sometime.
Absolutely. And stay healthy and stay safe, okay?
We're doing quite well here. Thank you.
Great. Okay, take care.
Goodbye.